I think we can start, right, Rashmi?
Yes, sir. The recording has started. A very warm welcome to each one of you for taking out precious time and joining this webinar. Let me introduce you myself. I am Rashmi Khanna, taking care of the meeting training operations at KnoWerX Education. We have with us Mr. Ravindra Tulsyan, who will be heading this webinar. Mr. Ravindra Tulsyan, I would like to just speak a few words about sir. Mr. Ravindra Tulsyan is the founder and the chief mentor of KnoWerX Education. He is widely known as Ravi, who is a far-sighted businessman, a process guru who was ready with supply chain details before it raised in the Indian market. So right from the starting of his career in 1982, he has a sharp-wittedness about business and its problems of more than 150 to 200 companies. He's been in the industry for quite long, and his training programs and courses are conducted throughout the country. That is what we are going to hear today from Ravi sir about the Professional Growth Program series founded by Ravi sir. And we have done trainings in globally, not only in India but globally, like in countries like US, Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, and whatever you can name. I mean, we have done trainings in most of the countries globally. And he was the first one who came out with a concern of fewer women participants in the supply chain in India. And I believe that's still a concern because here today I see only men have joined the session and we don't have women who have joined the session. So, of course, it's a concern still, sir. And uh, whatever I say about Ravi sir will be very less. So I would just hand over the session now to Ravi sir to just give us a brief about the Professional Growth Program series for which we have gathered here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rashmi. So before I begin, so I've been into this field, supply chain management field for 42 years, and I actually have an engineering background. Okay, not really a supply chain, but I was pushed into a supply chain, that is manufacturing and distribution line of business, by my earlier company, which is merged into TCS now. And so I was forced to learn, supply chain management from the software, from the ERP software, from the companies where I was implementing it, from where I was consulting it. So I learned it that way. Then, of course, I did my certification programs later on. And then I brought those certification programs to India also. And it's been really caught up very well. So I think what actually I realized was that we need to have a proper knowledge of supply chain management processes, about terminologies, and when we say processes, I think there is a lot of confusion about best practices. What is best practices? So I think from that perspective, when we talked about it. So to give a very quick background, I think. As you know, supply chain, this profession is growing. The demand for supply chain professionals is growing tremendously everywhere in the world, not only in India, but even abroad, everywhere in the world. The demand for supply chain professionals are going. And mostly what is happening is that very few people are properly trained, in supply chain management concepts, in the processes, in the terminologies that are used. Very few processors are actually formally trained or educated. And as you know, the supply chain management process, we have people at every level of management, starting from down the level, supervisory level, managerial level, senior managerial level. So many levels we have, supply chain management professionals who are working day to day. And if you really see, there are very limited choices available uh, in supply chain management education and training, and that too only in MBA. And as you would know that if you go to any business school, Okay, you will see most of the students either choose finance or they choose marketing. Very few people, very few students choose operations or supply chain management. So therefore, there is a tremendous shortage, so of supply chain, trained professionals. So there are people who learn supply chain on the job. So most of the people, if you see, who are in supply chain management field, okay, so they mostly have non-supply chain qualifications, and then gradually they have learned on the job. So learning on the job is actually a very good thing to have, but the only issue with that is that it takes a lot of time to learn. So there has to be a quick way to learn the processes, terminologies, best practices. Okay, there has to be a quick way. So I think that is where this PGP comes in briefly. We were hired by a company where the company wanted to do training for a huge number of employees, huge workforce. At various levels in the workforce, they wanted to train. So we created a program from there, and then we realized that this is a program that is much, much more in demand. So let me start introducing. First of all, I will talk about what is the opportunity available for all of us in the supply chain management field, how this is going to grow, what is going to happen, what is the opportunity for trained professionals, okay, where is the gap. So we'll talk about all of that, first, before I jump into what PGP programs are all about. So let me start. So this is a sort of a brief agenda. We'll talk about, economic perspective, market size, and talent gap, and career path, and salaries. We'll talk about all of that. So I think let's start one by one. So this one I have taken from World Bank GEP report. It's called Global Economic Prospect Report. I believe this report is released, I think, every month. And you know that, month wise, if you really look at it, things may change. For example, this contains, the growth rate of a lot of countries which are growing faster. And I think if you see South Asia, there are three countries included: India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. And I'm sure now after this unrest that is there in Bangladesh, the ratings, probably the growth rate will go down. So if you look at this data, this is, I think, I'm not sure whether you can see it or not, the too fine a print. Okay, if you look at it, I think South Asia is growing fastest among all the regions, right? And in that also, India's growth rate is the fastest. So I think at least 6.6% or so is projected growth rate by the World Bank. Government of India has projected the growth rate at 7.2%. So nevertheless, whatever that is, whether 7.2 or 6.6, the growth rate is highest actually at in the whole world, in the globally. So India is going to grow, very, very fast, very, very fast. And what will that tell us? That there is going to be a tremendous expansion in the job market. And if you are properly educated or trained, you will be able to encash that opportunity. So I'll show a second slide where I'll show how this supply chain market is going to grow. This is globally from 2023 to 2033 for about 10, 11 years. And you see there is a growth which is about, I think if you see compounded growth is about, I think 12% or something. Yeah. So I think there is a high growth rate in supply chain management profession. in the technology field, in the software field, in the management field, into operations field, every field, you see that there is a high growth rate which is there. So this is, I've written the source of my information also. So if you can have go and have a look at it. And that tells us that, there is going to be a huge market. And this is a global, chart that you see here, not specific to India. And so, as I said, the supply chain market is going to grow exponentially. And this supply chain the importance of supply chain management was greatly realized during pandemic, during COVID-19. And everyone, I think, even a housewife realized how important it is to have a very strong, very solid supply chain management, right? And you will be surprised that, my grandson, who is in what we call as a junior KG, okay, and in his school, they are teaching him supply chain management. So I was quite surprised. I was quite shocked, that they are teaching him supply chain management. He's just a 4-year-old kid. Now, if you really see by region, which region is going to grow fastest? So I think it's about Asia Pacific, North America, Asia Pacific, and Europe. These regions are going to grow fastest, so very fast. So I think you will see that our growth rate is going to be very high. So there is going to be a big demand. So it's going to give us a great job market. Now, which among supply chain, which industry verticals are going to grow? I think almost all verticals. Okay, I have taken an example of few. So retail and consumer goods are growing faster. And especially in this segment, if you really see e-commerce is growing at a very rapid rate, very rapid rate. And I think all of us realize that, the backbone of e-commerce is supply chain management. That's the backbone. How quickly, what we call order to, cash cycle time, or sometimes we call order to delivery time, how quickly you can deliver a product to the customer. So I think we are talking about next day delivery. Sometimes, depending on the supply chain, it's about 2 days, 3 days. But the effort is to do the same day delivery. Okay, and I think we also have example in e-commerce where there are 10 minutes delivery, right? We have Zepto, we have I think Blinkit, we have I think Big Basket. I think also they have another app through which they deliver very rapidly, very quickly in 10 minutes time, right? So I think that is all possible because of a strong, very strong, very robust supply chain management. So that's the backbone. Other industries, healthcare and pharma. And as you know that healthcare and pharma industry also is growing. Very profitable industry, very profitable industry. And of course, there are two types of situation. There is normal situation that we have, and you have also a situation where there is a natural calamity, there is flood, fire, pandemic. In this situation also you have to ensure that the healthcare is reached quickly, the medicines are reached quickly, vaccines are reached quickly. So you have to ensure that. And also this healthcare, let us not only think about human beings. The veterinary healthcare, that is the animal healthcare, also is increasing in business quite fast because more people are keeping pets. And then we are more talking about animal care. Manufacturing, of course, manufacturing is going to grow very, very rapidly. Manufacturing is shifting from certain geography to other geographies, but manufacturing will continue to grow. The manufacturing output will continue to grow, is going to increase. So I think that also again depends on a very strong supply chain management. Then we talk about food and beverages. Again, once again, very supply chain management driven. Okay, so it depends on that. The freshness, we want to create very fresh products on the shelf. We want consumers to consume fresh products. Okay, not old or stale products or near expiry products. Transportation logistics, of course, all other industries grow. Transportation logistics industries grow. And those of you who have been into this industry, you know that what rates are doing to the transportation logistics, especially in the shipping business, in the ocean freight, the rates are going, container shortages, uh, you know, ports are congested, port congestion is creating problems. So, and I think you all of must be aware about that. And so I think there are more ports needs to be created. All this needs to be expanded because the logistics and transportation is growing again. Automotive industry, I think automotive industry is again rapidly growing and changing. We are going towards EVs, electronic vehicles, so electrical vehicles. So our dependence on a fossil fuel actually will reduce, and then we'll go into more into electric vehicles. Autumn will use batteries more, and so there is going to be a rapid change in supply chain management and also growth. And there are other industries. So I'm not. The list is very, very long, so it's very difficult to take all the list, but every industry is going to grow, be it chemical, be it textile, be it paper, be it steel, be it cement. And I think you can see the stock market. If you see the stock market, you know how rapidly the industry is growing and how positive is their future forecast and trend that you have. So very positive. So I think by that the industry is growing. Now, in terms of solution types, that we have, also solutions are growing. And when I'm talking about applications, software applications, a lot of skills are required now to understand this application, implement. Now, as we also know, there is a rapid, growth in automation. Automation of warehouses, automation of transportation, automation of manufacturing lines. Everywhere there is a very, rapid automation that is going on, aided by information system technologies. So I think these are the industries also which are growing. Applications which are going, be it, transportation, warehousing, supply chain planning, procurement and sourcing, manufacturing execution system. So you know where to build up your expertise, where to have your expertise. Now, coming to India, I think if you look at the Indian scenario, we recently had our budget, Union Budget 2024. And let us understand what is the impact of this budget on supply chain. And therefore, you will understand what is the opportunity we have in supply chain management field. Now, if you really see that 16.1% of the budget, which is very, very large, is allocated to industries and supply chain, right? And if you look at that, 11.3 to road and rail. And today only I was watching the television and there were 8 rail corridors which have been approved by the government. Okay, so 11.3% on road and rail, 3.4% to industries and 1.4% to energy. So that's the allocation of budget by the Indian government. So I think you know where the opportunities are. It impacts three major verticals: logistics and distribution, manufacturing, and international trade. As you would realize that exports are going to grow, manufacturing segment is going to grow very rapidly in India. The exports are going to grow very rapidly from India. Okay, we would like to be balance of payment in our favor. Okay, so I think these are the industries which are going to grow, where the impact of this budget is going to be there. Going further, I think what are the current challenges and aspirations? So I think all of us know there is not a hidden information that we have still infrastructure deficiency in India. And if you see Logistics Performance Index (LPI), we are ranked 54 in 2014, and our rank improved to 38 in 2023. But we aim to reach a rank of 25 by at least 2030, right? So to improve Logistics Performance Index, there are a lot of factors which are taken into account to calculate LPI. You can go to the World Wide Web and you can do a search and you can find out how LPI is calculated and what parameters are taken into account. Of course, infrastructure is one of them, but there are a lot of other parameters also. Another issue has been slow goods train speed. As you know that India has a very strong rail network, very long. I think it is one of the biggest in the world and most complex, and I think most used, I would say, in the world. So I think I think we transport 120,000 or more, almost 1.2 billion people every day through rail, and that's a huge amount of load these railways carry. And also our railways carry a lot of goods. Okay, I don't want to go into detail. I don't want to teach where roads are going to be more economical, but railways carry a lot of goods. Right now, our average speed of freight trains is slow. It's about 24 kilometers per hour in USA and 37. Sorry, in India, 24 kilometers per hour. US is about 37 kilometers per hour and Europe is about 45 kilometers per hour. So we need to almost double the speed, or double the average speed of freight trains. Government is creating special freight corridors. Okay, and I think that will improve the speed. Now, if you really see from here, the budget allocation in key initiatives, right? In key initiatives, 30 billion to Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, 1.5 billion to Northeast states, $0.97 billion to freight corridor projects, 0.77 billion for electrification of remaining railway tracks. So you can see the amount of concentration focus which is there on logistics and distribution, how we can improve logistics and distribution in India. So once we improve that, not only it improves for the industry in India, but will also attract foreign direct investments. There are many companies who will come here. They will do manufacturing from India and distribute to the whole world. So that is going to be the effect of logistics. Let us look at manufacturing. Again, I think manufacturing also, the current challenges are the manufacturing has low contribution to GDP. Services have picked up a lot. I think manufacturing is still from 17%, we want to achieve 25% in 2025. And again, there is a skill development. The skill gap is very huge. And this skill gap, I think, in manufacturing starts from absolute entry level, a workforce, maybe an operator level to supervisor level and so on. And I think that's, on one hand, we say that, there are people who are unemployed. On the other hand, we have people who are not good enough to be hired. So I think that is where the effort has to be put in, where people can be skilled, people can be trained. so that they become employable. Once they become employable, I think this issue about employment rate, I think that will improve. Again, if you see budgets there, 3.1 billion to PLI schemes, which has been given here, 1.46 billion to employment linked incentive schemes, 0.35 billion to upgrade industrial training institutes. That's an important one to do. And 0.13 billion for Mudra loans to MSME. So also there is a focus on MSME by the government. So that's manufacturing. Now, third, I will take international trade. So this is last one. And if you really see, we have a great trade deficit. We import more than the export. So export was $778 billion, but we imported more. So the deficit was $238.3 billion. There was our deficit. So I think we aim to export about $2 trillion worth of goods and services by 2030. Right. So that's what our focus is. There are lack of export incentives. So we have a lot of tariffs which are high, and we have few FTAs, and then while China has 19 FTA. Budget allocation and key initiatives. If you really see, 3.1 billion to remission of duties and taxes on export products. So that is what government is trying to do. 0.28 billion, and then ROSCT, like a rebate of state transport local scheme. So I think we are trying to give tax rebate on exports. And then 0.28 billion to Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, and $9 million to Inland Water Logistics projects. So these are the focus. So I think from every aspect that we see, from global perspective or from Indian perspective, from every aspect, you see a large growth in supply chain management. So what is the conclusion? High growth in supply chain management industry, increasing demand for skilled supply chain management talent, high career growth prospect, and high salary growth for skilled professional. Of course, I think all of us know when there is a gap between demand and supply, okay, the product has to be, price higher. And the same thing is happening for supply chain professional. So good supply chain professionals command a lot of salary. They get a very big package, very high package. Supply chain professional gives very high job satisfaction. I keep meeting people, who are in supply chain or who were in supply chain, and then they switch their field and they want to come back. They want to come back to supply chain management. And everyone says in supply chain management, you get a lot of job satisfaction because you feel that you are doing something. You are not. You feel that you're adding value to the product and services to consumers and customers. And there is a good work-life balance, in supply chain management. So I think that's the conclusion. Is one of the best, I think, profession to choose from. All right. So I think if you have any questions, I think I can answer, or you can type in the chat box. We'll answer towards the end. So I think let me talk about the career paths. So many people are confused, and sometimes MBA students are highly confused that if I go into operations, if I go into supply chain management, do I have to work on the shop floor? Do I have to dirty my hands? Will I be working with laborers and workers? And I think there is also a fear, and you see less women in supply chain management. And Rashmi just pointed out there are very less number of women in supply chain. One of the reason of having less women in supply chain is that women think that we have to go on the shop floor, we have to interact with workers on the shop floor and so on, laborers. So I think these are the designations that you have, and I've given a growth path. So what was your previous designation and what is your next designation? And there is a growth path everywhere. So I think you start from a role of a buyer or a planner or a shop floor manager or a production manager. You start from that role, or transport manager, logistics manager. So there are various roles are there. I cannot I will list down every role here. You can be, you could be in warehouse, you could be in logistics, transportation, distribution, you could be in manufacturing, you could be in quality, you could be in, I think, customer service, you could be in purchasing. So there are a lot of roles which are there, right? So you grow from a very low level and then you keep on growing to the level of CXO, supply chain director, right? Supply chain director. Or even sometimes, the industries which are very, uh, very supply chain management, the backbone, like an e-commerce industry, you grow to a level of CEO or CEO. So many fields which are there that you can see that you grow from where to where, right? So what is the salaries like and how they are growing? So this is how these are the salaries in the US. I'm discussing salaries in the US. So the survey which was done, so I think about 10 percentile was showing about $60,000 per year. You can see this is about 25th percentile, then 50th percentile, 75th percentile, I think top, and the 90%, above 90%. So about 10% people said their salary is about $200,000. Okay, $200,000. So that's the kind of salaries that you have in the US, and corresponding to that, that same survey also went to a lot of professionals in India, and these are the Indian salaries that are reported. Okay, so these are not in dollars, these are in rupees. So I think about 25th percentile said their salaries are about 1,20,000. So 12 lakhs rupees, 12 lakhs rupees, about 25th percentile. 50th percentile is about 22 lakhs salaries, 22 lakhs, and 75th percentile. So about more than 25%, about 25% of the people have a salary which is over 35 lakhs rupees per year, right? So that's the kind of salary that we have currently in the Indian market. So I think quite very highly paid, salaries in the supply chain management field, right? So now that's a good thing to do, that we have more opportunity, we have more market, we have more salaries and so on. But are we ready to encash this opportunity? And there is a lot of skill gap, that is talent gap, that we are talking about. So I think if we start looking at the reports, so these I have listed down various reports. You can go to these reports one by one. You can check out the gap. Okay. And this is all focused on supply chain management skills. So there is a report from McKinsey in 22, from CAP Research in 22. There's a report from Brand Trade in 23, and again, so many reports of 23 and 24 also. There are reports from 24 also. So I think everyone realizes that there is a big gap in supply chain management skills at all the levels. I'm not talking about just the top level, higher level, middle level, or lower level. At all the levels, there is a big gap in supply chain management field. And what very often happens is, a person with non-supply chain management background, education and training, joins a company. They assign into a supply chain management role, and whether the company is following the best practices, good practices, wrong practices, obsolete practices, whatever they are following, and the person starts learning those practices. right? And that is the world that they have about supply chain management, the knowledge they have about supply chain management, not knowing what is happening globally, what is happening in the world, what is happening, what are the best practices, what is the correct way of doing things, and what are the correct terminologies that they have. So I think so there is a lot of area that to improve, in supply chain management field. So this is a lot of reports are there. There is a big talent gap, and I think it's an opportunity for each one of us to encash that gap, right? So that's a very good opportunity. All right, so let us talk about the competencies now. So once we realize that our economy is going to grow and the gap is going to be there, supply chain management jobs are going to grow very rapidly. Let us talk about what kind of competencies are required in supply chain management. Do we have all those? Are we ready? So there are a lot of types of competencies. So there is a report, I think, from ASCM. I think it's about 2012 report, or I don't remember which year it is, but there is a report. That report says supply chain management competency model. So you can have that report, you can look into the World Wide Web, you can do a search, download that report and look for yourself what skills you have, where are you missing, and what skills you need to be trained on, right? So what I have done is I have, in the interest of time, I have not gone through the entire model. I have taken only few competencies, which are related to supply chain management. There are also requirement for general math and general team building and logic and math, and so I have not included all of that. So I've only taken the profession related competencies, supply chain management related competencies. So here are some competencies, list of competency. This model I think was developed in 2014, supply chain manager competency model. So these are the lists: strategy development and application, basic understanding of supply chain management. I think the supply chain management is very, very wrongly understood by so many people. If you ask 10 people, you get 10 definitions, right? So I think there is a big confusion about the simple thing, what supply chain management is. There is a big confusion even about that. Then process improvement, Six Sigma, execution planning and scheduling control, project management, lean management, enabling technology application. Now, I mean, we all know the supply chain management depending heavily on technology, lot of technology, IT, information technology. I think so. Knowledge about those application, deployment of those, implementation of those. Then performance, what the performance should be, what is the best performance we can have, warehouse management, transportation management, supply chain synchronization, risk management, sustainability, location facilities, distribution, warehousing, logistics, international regulations, strategic sourcing and supply relationship management, customer relationship management, applying lean and Six Sigma tools. So I think there are a lot of I think skill set that are required to be able to call, I think, oneself a good supply chain manager, a good supply chain professional. So, as I gave a small background of this entire training that we have developed, it's called Professional Growth Program Series, PGP, series of training. So, I think training a wide variety of participants and industry verticals. A huge gap is foundation competency and professional related competency was clearly felt by KnoWerX. I think we have done huge amount of training. We have been training people over last 42 years. And I think in every country and every type of industry, almost we have covered so many industries and so many types of professionals. And our feedback, our observation, there is a huge amount of skill gap that is there among employees. They don't know the terminologies. They need to be understood about terminology, about the processes. So if let's say you don't have proper knowledge and training of processes, practices of supply chain management, how can you improve your supply chain processes? So that's very difficult. So I think I think so. We will have inefficient, supply chain management professors where productivity is low, efficiency is low, right? So I think we were hired by a very large MNC to impart training, supply chain management training at various levels of management to a lot of employees, almost the very, very large portion of their workforce, right? And to raise the competency, starting from the entry level, introductory level to, a specialist level, that kind of a training. So we actually developed training very carefully, for entry level professionals, for mid level professionals, and for senior level professionals. We divided into three categories, all the trainings. And on various topics, various topics, huge number of topics that we have. So this is what we delivered. So what are the training features? Each topic, we have an independent training. They're not dependent. You don't have to learn a very big, list of topics. You don't have to. You can go and learn each topic. You can get a certificate for each topic separately. Okay. And most of the topics have three levels: basic, mid, and advanced. So you can select, mid, advanced, whatever topic you can select. Suitable for gradual competency building. So if you are coming from a non-supply chain background, or if you have a supply chain background but not a formal exposure to best practices and processes, so it could be for you, and you can gradually build it. So it's packaged in about 45, more than 45 bite-sized modules. And out of that, we have created 6 certificates. I mean, the 6 certificates don't represent all 45 modules. 45 modules is a huge, big list. Out of those 45 modules, maybe we have selected some 10 most important modules, and we created 6 certificates out of that, right? But there are still a huge list of other modules which are left out. So the advantages, these are what we call as micro learning. Not even micro, this will mini learning, not micro. Micro will be, this is still too small. This will mini learning. Okay, so you can complete every topic, every module in a limited amount of time. So this is light on demand. So light on demand of time, you don't require a lot of time to complete. And light on pocket also, so you don't have to pay a huge amount of fee, because this is all charged, this entire fee is charged in rupees, not in dollars. And you charge for only the topic that you are learning. So it's very affordable, very, very affordable. And you can mix and match as per your need, as per your current need, as per your future plan. You can mix match as per your need. A very, very big advantage is to you learn global terminologies and best practices, not necessarily terminology that you are using in your job. You don't have to stick to that. You should also know what the terminologies are worldwide and the best practices which are worldwide, global practices. So you will also get to learn that. So these are the features. And so we have this 6 certificate that we have launched already, selected 6 certificates. In the future, we are going to launch more, but these are the 6 that we are offering currently. On direct material planning, we have a certificate. On the forecasting and demand management, we have a certificate. On integrated business planning, that is sales and operations planning, we have a certificate. Inventory management, we have a certificate. Procurement, we have one. Warehouse management, we have one. So depending on your requirement, you can choose, you can select, and you can do the certificate. Right? And our scope is expanding. So we will continue to add more certificates and more topics. We already have developed a lot of material, but we keep expanding our knowledge base depending on the customer requirement. And we also offer highly customized courses. Okay, highly customized courses. So if some industry is looking for a customized course for themselves, we will see whether mixing and matching this already developed topics are adequate, or that prospect wants more topics to be included, or what it is, and accordingly we will design the training. That is also what we do. All right, thank you so much. And I think I want you to ask questions. So as many questions as we can clarify the doubt. I think our team has joined here. So they'll be able to answer the questions to you to your satisfaction. So now the session is open for the questions. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Ravindra, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yeah, Ravindra, I think has a question. He's raised his
Uh,
hand.
uh, Sir, good evening. Sir, I want to ask about this integrated business planner certificates, and so what are the value of these certifications as the international recognized uh, institutes provide like ASCM. So, in comparison to that, what is the importance of the certifications or the PGP certificates given by your institute?
So as you know, KnoWerX has been in the business for more than 32 years. And we have a good name not only in India, but even overseas. So I think once you do a certificate from KnoWerX, okay, it will be recognized by the industry here also, and globally also. So I think that will be what I will say is the value. About international business planning, so integrated business planning. So this certificate is basically on sales and operations planning. How sales and operations planning is done, what is the processes, what items to be considered, what structure you should have, how to make it successful. So this is about that. I think there is an SAP also. You have a functionality called integrated business planning. So I think so. We are talking about sales and operations planning. And if you want to get more detail, I think you can write to us. You can write to us, and we'll be able to give a detailed topic also.
Yes, sir. Sir, one question. Is there any certification as in the supply chain you are providing certifications in business planning, procurement, inventory management? Is there any specific certification which is internationally recognized in field of international trade management?
So in international trade management, we are actually creating the training right now. As we said, we are evolving, we are expanding, we are putting a number of topics. So one of the topics that we have in our pipeline is international trade. So we'll soon launch a certificate on that.
And so, what is the duration of these courses like this procurement and integrated business plan? Duration of.
So I think these we run in 2-3 modes. So we do virtual training, and then virtual training is followed by we give the access of LMS, and then in LMS you have the exam also. In other mode can be, let's say, face-to-face training, where if a company wants to have face-to-face training for employees, we can even do that. So that is also available. That option is also available. And I think some company wants a recording so that it can be delivered in asynchronous mode. If trainings are recorded and delivered, so we can do that also. Now, usually what happens is this is about some trainings are 1-day training, some trainings are 2-day training, right? So 1 day or 2-day training. And if you do, let's say on a 4-hour session, then some are 2 sessions, some are 4 sessions. If you do on a weekend, so I think it's 1 weekend or 2 weekends, 3 weekends. So this is how the duration varies. So it's not a very long course. and it's not a lot of reading material, not very long one. Did I answer your question, Ravindra?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So any more questions you have?
If that's the case, I contact Mandir. I have her contact number.
Yeah, you can contact. You can contact Mandira. She'll be able to happy to help you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, any other question you have? So as I said, this delivery mode can be flexible. It can be customized. So it can be a virtual training. This is synchronous. What we call a synchronous training. That means participants and the trainer log in at the same time, and it's more interactive. That is one mode. It can be asynchronous training where it is recorded and recorded training is delivered, or it can be a face-to-face training where the customer and participants sit in the same classroom and then training is given. So it can be done on all three modes. It can be also done in a what we call as a hybrid mode. Some part of the training self-learning, some part of the training virtual training online, some part of the training face-to-face. So it can be done in hybrid mode also. So all that modes are possible.
Okay, sir.
So these trainings are also very good for if, let's say, a company is looking to skill their employees, their entire workforce, or whatever number of workforce, if they want to train and they want to give different level of competencies to different level of employees. So that can also be done. Topics can be chosen by the company and selected by the company, and based on that, we can do it. So that can be done. So it's good for a company does not want to spend a lot of budget. Okay, so huge amount of budget, because some of the trainings are very expensive. You actually end up paying in dollars. In fact, at the back, some of the trainings are expensive. So I think this can be a very cost-effective solution.
Sir, one more question.
Yes.
Sir, as far as career growth is concerned, so which specific specialization in supply chain is growth have more growth potential than other specializations?
I think, see, wherever you have a big gap in supply and demand, I think that is where you command more growth. And right now, having a very good supply chain knowledge of the processes, about the practices, or the performance, coupled with digital expertise. Okay, so there is a what we call as a digital science, or so coupled with that, right now, because every supply chain management field everywhere is going through digital transformation, right? So if you can be expertise on digital transformation, you don't have to be a programmer. Remember, you don't have to be a programmer, but you should be able to handle with the digital transformation technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, 3D printing. I mean, so these kind of technologies, IoTs, tracking, online tracking. So I think these kind of technology that will really help you. It will really help grow a career. But actually,
Sir,
yeah. So also to add, there is also a shortage of the basic skill. Basic skills are also in big demand, big shortage, apart from advanced skills. So I think that also you can keep in mind. Yeah.
sir, is there a specific industry which has more growth potential and there are possibilities to go abroad also?
I think going abroad is there in every industry. I think so. Growth potential maximum, I think, is driven by digital transformation, and that is there, I think, in e-commerce, electronics, automotive, because automotive is now going to be transformed completely to electrical vehicles. So that's where also. So a lot of growth potential, I think, even in core segments like cement and steel. I think there is everywhere, you have a lot of growth potential.
Yes, sir. Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Welcome. Any other question?
No, sir. From my side, no.
Thank you.
So I think we can wind up the session, sir. Thank you everyone for taking out your time again and joining us. And thank you, Ravi sir, for taking us through the union budget as well. And it was a very valuable knowledge sharing process to know the impact and challenges in supply chain and also in international trade, which is, I'm definitely sure, beneficial to a lot of people. And also elaborating on the career paths and clearing the doubts. I would just like to mention that we have our upcoming certified direct material planning training coming on 17th of August. So if you would like to know more about that or join the training, you can connect with us. The details are mentioned in the chat box, email address and contact number. Thank you again everyone for joining the session. Have a great day ahead. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Have
you,
a
sir.
great
Thank you.
weekend. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.